Hey guys, and welcome to Ray's Tech. In today's video, I'm going to share the best GPUs for gaming in 2023 with different price ranges, so let's jump right into it. So first off, let's talk about the graphics card everyone is talking about, and that is the recently released RTX4090 by Nvidia, which utilizes the new Ada Lovelace architecture. This card is absolutely insane. It has an MSRP of about $1,600 US, but good luck finding it anywhere right now at MSRP. On average, you will find it marked up for well over $2,000. I think I see them for like $2,300 plus on Amazon. But if you want the best of the best, then this is the card for you. So let's talk about the pros of this card first of all. So number one, this is the fastest GPU you can find on the market right now. Number two, high refresh rate 4K gaming is now possible, and apparently even 8K gaming is amazing on this card. Number three, you get powerful ray tracing hardware, which makes extremely realistic lighting effects. Number four, DLSS and now DLSS3. Now DLSS3 is probably the hottest thing about this card, which stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling, and DLSS3 is exclusive to the 40 series graphics card from Nvidia, which apparently Nvidia says can boost frame rates by up to 4 times. Alright, number 5, you're getting 24 gigabytes of G6X memory, which will be amazing for content creation workloads, especially if you are into 3D rendering. Now, this card isn't all sunshine and rainbows, so let's talk a little bit about the cons of this card. So number one, extremely expensive and insane power requirements like 700 watts plus. Number two, it's very difficult to find this stock anywhere, including Amazon and Best Buy. Number three, you need to have a really powerful CPU and a really strong power supply. You might also need to upgrade your power supply to really take advantage of this. Number four, you need to really have a high refresh rate 4K monitor to take advantage of the RTX 4090 to the max. Like, the improvements at 1440p are great, but they aren't as incredible until you really crank up that resolution to 4K. Now, number five, it's probably overkill for most casual gamers. Number six, lack of DisplayPort 2.0. I mean, seriously. Number seven, physically fitting this card in your case. Like, you gotta make sure you have enough room. And number eight, there are rumors of melting connectors. So, to summarize, this card is the best money can buy, but it definitely does come at a cost. Alright, number two, let's talk about 2022's big graphics card GPU, and that is the Nvidia Geforce RTX3080. This is still a beast of a card. Now, this was sold out everywhere as cryptocurrency miners were sniping up all the major graphics card supply, but now that the crypto market has crashed, this is a much more readily available in-stock card, and you might just be able to snipe one for between $700 to $800 at the time of this video if you get lucky, although I'm still seeing them sell for well over $1,000 on Amazon, especially the TI version. Now, this GPU does use the old Nvidia Ampere architecture, and I'll be honest, it's hard recommending this card given that the RTX4080 is also coming soon, which I'll talk about next. But here are the pros of this card. The still very powerful Geforce RTX3080. Number one, it's still an amazing card. You couldn't find this anywhere last year, and it's great if your GPU budget is around $1,000 to about $1,300. Number two, you can do 4K gaming at 60 frames per second. It might be enough for most people. Number three, you have DLSS and DXR performance. And number four, availability. It's much easier to find this card now. But here are the cons of this card. Number one, it will be utilizing outdated Nvidia architecture. Number two, the price is still too high in my eyes with the RTX 4080 coming soon. And number three, it uses really heavy power supply of 750 watts or more. So is it worth it to upgrade to the 4090 if you already have a 3080? I mean, the 3080 already delivers you 4K 60 Hz GPU experience in pretty much every AAA game. And maybe the frame rate might drop down to like the 50s in some really heavy ray tracing games, but with the 4090, you're gonna be at like 4K 120 Hz, which to some people it's worth upgrading. To me, it's probably not worth the price. I mean, if I already had the 3080, I would just stick with it. I really don't need all the bells and whistles. Maybe like you could use Cyberpunk at 4K or something like that, but keep in mind, if you're already gaming at lower resolution than 4K, your CPU is probably the bottleneck. It really comes down to, do you really need 120 Hz 4K gaming? And honestly, if I had the 3080, I might as well just wait 2 more years for them to drop the 5000 series, because honestly, the 3080 is still a beast of a card. Now, I'm gonna skip talking about the RTX 3090, which was Nvidia's original flagship last year. The card I always felt was always for more professional work, not for gamers, and the 4090 pretty much destroys it at everything, so that's definitely not gonna be a card I recommend. All right, number three, let's talk about the recently released RTX 4080. So the MSRP for this card is going to be about $1,200 for the 16GB version. There was supposed to be a slower 12GB version that would have come in at about $900, but I believe they killed it very last minute. So it's only the 16GB version that we're going to be talking about. Again, good luck finding the RTX 4080 card at MSRP amount or in stock in retailers. You'll probably see it marked up $500 for around $1,700, $1,800 in my eyes. So what is the difference between the RTX 4080 and the RTX 4090? The RTX 4090 and the RTX 4080 are based on the same Ada Lovelace architecture, but the 4090 is just way more powerful than the 4080. The 4090 has 16,384 CUDA cores, while the 1480 uses 9,728 CUDA cores in the 16GB SKU. With more CUDA cores, the cards can process more data at once, meaning the higher the number of CUDA cores, the faster the performance. So to basically summarize, the 4090 just kills the 4080 and everything. But then again, the 4080 finds itself in a weird position. Like, who would buy the 4080? If you own like a 3080 already or a 3090, you're probably not gonna really upgrade to this card. This card is just gonna be heavily marked up upon release. So for most people, the $400 difference between the 4080 and the 4090, I'd rather just get the 4090 because it's more future-proof and just kicks the butt of the 4080. But again, on the other hand, what if you're building a brand new build? Like, I think if you can get it at a reasonable enough cost, it's still gonna be a great card. And keep in mind that DLSS 3 is exclusive to the 4000 series Nvidia card, so that is something that the 3080 is just not gonna have. I still think that the RTX 4080 will attract most mainstream casual gamers, even at 4K, and especially if you're running lower resolution like 1440 or 1080p, obviously this is going to be a beast of a card. And really, unless you really want to max out every game at the highest settings, I really think that the RTX 4080 is going to be the card of choice for most mainstream gamers in 2023, even for 4K gaming if the pricing is good. Once again, the pricing just has to be good. Otherwise, I would just stick with the 3080 Ti. So the pro for this card is really, it's the new Nvidia Ada Lovelace architecture. It's great for mainstream gamers. You get DLSS 3, which is exclusive to the Nvidia 4000 series. But the cons for this card is it's expensive, there's limited stock, and you still need a 700 watt power supply. Not much of an upgrade over the 3080. I'm really excited to test this card once it comes out, and it'll be really interesting to see how this card works with like a Plague Tale Requiem for ray tracing. So really looking forward to it. Now, in case you don't think I'm giving AMD any love, I'm going to talk about their new RDNA3 GPUs coming out in December. Now, I'm a big Radeon fanboy. I remember when Radeon used to dominate everything in the video card market, and the Radeon 9800 Pro was the flagship GPU processor back then. Yes, I'm old. So AMD is responding to Nvidia with the Radeon RX7900XTX and the RX7900XT, which is kind of confusing, but they are both powered by the RDNA3 architecture. One of their strategies are definitely to try to undercut Nvidia, as the Radeon RX7900XTX will sell for $1,000 at MSRP, and the RX7900XT will go for about $900. So they are going to be cheaper than the Nvidia cards, and both cards are going to launch on December 13th. Now keep in mind that ray tracing was always one of AMD's weak points and why people gravitated to Nvidia, but these cards could potentially fix that with a next generation accelerator. The other thing that is really part of AMD's strategy is that these cards are designed to be much more power watt friendly, so you don't need a massive power supply or new cables. Like, apparently the RX7900XTX will only require 355 watts of power, while the 7900XT will require 300 watts of power, which is almost half the power requirement of the latest flagship Nvidia cards. Now, the Radeon RX7900XTX comes with 24 gigabytes of GDDR6, and Radeon RX7900XT comes with about 20 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. Now, they're both engineered as 4K and 8K gaming GPUs. The Radeon RX7900XTX is rumored to operate up to 1.7 times better than AMD's former flagship GPU, the Radeon RX6900XT. Wait a second, could that mean it could compete with Nvidia's latest 4090? We will see when the new benchmarks come out. Now, also, the Radeon RX7900XTX and the 7900XT support DisplayPort 2.1, unlike the Geforce RTX4090, so you can support 4K displays at up to 480 Hz. The physical size of the card is also apparently going to be much smaller than the Nvidia 4090s, so that might be a point of consideration as well. It's just going to be much easier to fit into your case. I really think that the 7900XTX is going to be the 3090 Ti killer. It looks like it just is going to be better in every way and at a cheaper cheaper price point. And although they're not out yet, so I can't really fully comment on these cards, I'm just really super excited about them. And I always feel that AMD GPUs work super efficiently with Ryzen CPUs, which are obviously my go-to choice. Now, I really think that these cards are just going to be amazing price/performance cards, and AMD is really smart with their pricing strategy in undercutting Nvidia. So let's talk about some of the pros of this card to summarize. First thing is price. I know $1,000, good price, but hey, in this inflation market, that's what you get. Number 2, DisplayPort 2.1. Number 3, power supply usage in the 300s versus the 700s. And number 4, you only need 8-pin power connectors. AMD sticking to the most commonly used power standard are both valid upgrade and marketing points. You just don't need a new PSU or case with this card. You might with the Nvidia 4000 series though. So I'll tell you guys what I plan to do before I end this video. But before I end this video, I'm just gonna throw in my 2 top picks. If you're looking for more budget-friendly options, this video is about the best GPUs, and unfortunately they also happen to be the most expensive GPUs. All right, at the low end, and in my opinion, the best budget GPU you can still buy in today's market, I'm gonna have to give it to the GTX 1660 Super. Remember, the Super at the end is still very important. It just crushes it at 1080p gaming, and if you've got a great 1080p monitor, it's still an awesome budget-friendly GPU that you can find for between $200 to $300. Now, I know if you want to pay like $50 more, then yes, opt in for the Radeon 6600, and you're still under $300. These cards are outdated technologies, but probably still the best bang for the buck gaming GPUs you can find on the market today. So those are still great cards if you guys are looking for more budget-friendly options. But to summarize this video, if you want the best of the best, the winner is the Nvidia RTX 4090 for 2023 and beyond. This is the most future-proof card, but it also comes with a hefty price tag, and it's not going to be easily available. You're also going to have to upgrade your power supply and case, so are you really ready to do it? The 3080 is still a great card, but doesn't come with DLSS 3. If you already have the 3080, I probably wouldn't bother upgrading. Now, personally for myself, I am gonna wait for the Radeon graphics card and see how the performance tests on those look like before making a decision. We're less than 1.5 months away, and I have a strong feeling that these cards are just gonna blow people's expectations away with lower power watt usage and lower price. The Radeon RX7900XTX is the card that I'm personally targeting upon release date. Now, what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What is your favorite GPU in 2023 and beyond? I do have links to all the cards I talked about in the description below, as well as some other suggestions that I recommend. I really hope you guys like this video. I appreciate a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.